this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm just here for another one of my videos of using up, you know, those craft kind of mistakes or items that we really wish that we hadn't bought, or, you know, we're never going to actually use. So what I've got here are some stickers. Obviously these are carefully selected stickers from my stash, because I've also got lots of very childish stickers, very, you know, outlandish stickers. Well, you know, outlandish as in kind of dinosaurs and things like that for kids cards, and you know, all sorts of things. Sorry about that. That was my son on the telephone. He apparently, something has happened at work and they're waiting on somebody else, so he's coming home and then going back later and doing kind of a late night instead. So he was then after me going to have a look at a car with him, so who knows. Anyway, so that was what that was about. Now where were we? So what I've done, I've carefully selected obviously some stickers that I thought I could possibly make work in some form. I mean, obviously there are stickers that I have purchased over the time that I just simply am not going to be able to use. But, you know, there are stickers that hopefully I will be able to use. So these are some of those. So all I've done is I've taken these biggish sheets. These are just from a child's book. So they're, you know, they're bigger than an ordinary kind of typical sheet in a book. And I'm just going to take some gesso here. So just cover the book page just in a thinnish coat here. Now, obviously I am winging this. I have not tried this with my stamps. My stickers, you know, so I don't know how this is going to be. It may look good, it may look terrible. You know, it's just all about experimenting, really. And I mean, I've said this so many times, really, I should do a kind of trial run before obviously coming on. But I mean, obviously in this instance, I'm trying to use things up. So therefore, you know, these are my sets of stickers, and once they're gone, they're gone. So I kind of couldn't really test this one out, so that's my excuse this time. Obviously there have been many occasions where I don't have that as an excuse, and I should have given it a trial run. So right, so that's my first page. I'm just going to pop that to one side just to dry for a moment, and I will just do the same, I think, here with this page. Although, to be honest, these ones look actually really nice on this. Yeah, so maybe I will leave this one not gessoed. Yeah, maybe we'll leave it not gessoed perhaps on this one, because we don't want to do them both the same anyway. So let's give this a go. So obviously I've got sentiments in here, which I'm, you know, not wanting to use the sentiments. So I'm just going to peel my stickers off, she says, and now I can't actually even get the stickers off. That's how old they are. They won't even come off. I mean, normally if you've had them for ages, they're literally falling off, aren't they? They, you know, they don't want to be on the piece of like laminate or whatever in the first place. But no, these ones are so well stuck that they are just literally not wanting to come off at all. Oh my gosh. Didn't bank on that happening. I honestly thought it was going to be the opposite, you know, that they were going to be just, you know, clinging on to the laminate like with a fine thread. So let's just try and prise it up with my pokey thing. There we go. Right, okay, so we've got one. Now I'm just going to stick these randomly around the page. No, I'm obviously going to have a problem getting them all off, so I'll have to kind of prise them all off with that pokey thing. So, you know, I'm not going to be overly worrying about how I'm fitting them. I'm just going to... Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be like a really tedious video to watch, isn't it? I do apologise. Just, I mean, who'd have thought that these would actually be difficult to get off? I honestly thought that they were going to just be dropping off. Okay. got a little butterfly here on this sheet as well, so we can take the butterfly. Oops. Oh no, we can't, because now I've torn the butterfly with the pokey thing, so yeah, we won't use the blue one. Let's go for this orange one. The problem is, of course, with these ones is they are kind of see-through stickers on a see-through, you know, plastic film stuff. So you really can't see at all where the edge of the sticker is. I mean, I can if I hold it up, but obviously then I'm out of frame. So I'm just trying to, you know, guess roughly where the sticker might begin. So it's not ideal. Okay. So we're just sticking them around like that. Yes, since you know, doing my video of my desk, I have been honestly trying to sort out a little bit. So you know, this is all part of that, really, is I will sort out, eventually I will sort out all my stickers into, you know, those that really I'm not going to ever use, and I will gift them to the school. And stickers that I can do things with, like these. I mean, as I say, I don't know how good this is going to be. It might look awful. But if it turns out okay, I might have other stickers that I could do this type of thing with as well. So, you know, but I'm just working through, really, trying to whittle down my supplies. So I'm getting a little bit on top of my mess. So once I've done a few more things, I'm hopefully going to obviously share my progress with you guys, and you know, show you how far I've got in the tidying up and the organisational stakes. I have to say, you know, I mean, obviously if you've seen my video, oh look, I've gone straight through another butterfly, so I'm not using that one. If you've seen my video of my desk, you will understand the huge task that I have got ahead of me. You know, it's not going to be an overnight, you know, kind of thing here. It's going to be a very slow and steady progress being made. Well, I mean, hopefully being made. But slow and steady, that's fine. You know, better than not at all, isn't it? So, oops, there we go. I mean, these are very pretty stickers, aren't they? I have to be truthful and, you know, just admit that I probably wouldn't really have ever used these on a card. I'm not really too sure why I actually bought these, but sometimes you're in the shop and you kind of think, oh, they're pretty, you know, and then before you know it, you're buying things that actually you're not really going to use. I mean, these for me, they would have been too small and you know, too fine to make any sort of real impact on a card. So you know, for me, I wouldn't have actually got on with using these. I mean, I'm sure that lots of people would, and lots of people probably would have made beautiful cards from them, but you know, they're not really something that I would have probably used. So yeah, they kind of definitely went down there in one of those, what was I thinking, why did I buy those kinds of scenarios. So I'm sure we all have many of those types of things, don't we? There we go. Come on. Get that last flower off. There we go. Okay. Oops, now I've got a crease in that one. Right, so on here I've just got the couple of butterflies, obviously, that I've torn, and I've just got a to and a from, and I think that's a miss you. So I'm going to be really rigid and I'm going to bin this because, you know, enough already. I cannot hoard any more things, to be perfectly honest. Now, I've got here some more of that tea bag. I only have this little piece left, but I did wonder about the tea bag over the top of these flowers. I don't know whether this is going to work. I don't know whether the flowers are going to really show up enough through the tea bag, because obviously, you know, you can probably see they're very tiny flowers, and they might not really have enough of an impact through the tea bag, which, you know, that would be a shame, because I would have then obviously used them and, you know, not have more to use, and they wouldn't have been successful either. So that was my first idea. Let's have a bit of a think. I'm just loath to kind of stick that down really and then go, oh no, now I can't see those flowers at all. They're just completely hidden. Because that's the type of thing that's likely to happen. Right, I've got some doily here. Let's just see. I'm now thinking what I should have done was probably stuck them onto the doily. Oh. Right, do you know what I'm going to do, I think? I think I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to just cut this page down the middle. And that way, if one doesn't work, I've still got the other one to work with. So let's go this side and let's pop this tea bag down here. I mean, we can but try, you know. It may look okay, it might not show up at all, so we will see. Oops. I'm using this teeny tub of Mod Podge. It's silly because it's not really kind of big enough to get my brush in or anything, but never mind. Right, again, I probably should have washed my brush between the gesso and the Mod Podge, but never mind. Let's just go for it, because otherwise I'm going to be stopping and starting the video like hundreds of times. So let's just go for it. So pop the Mod Podge down. That, I think, is a lump from the sticker. That's what that was. Now take my tea bag, place that over there like that, and then just go over it a bit more. Like that. Okay, right. Don't think that's going to work, because I think they are going to be pretty much covered up. So that's a bit of a shame. Okay, well, it was worth trying, wasn't it? So let's pop that to one side and see whether as they dry they show more. They may do, they may not. They probably won't. If I'm truthful, they probably won't. Right. So let's bring in our gessoed piece and see whether we have a bit more luck with that one. Right, so we've got this sunflower, which was just dying to come off the page. It was literally like hanging off, you know. Now, obviously these are quite old stickers, and unlike those other ones, these ones are, you know, they were peeling off, if you see what I mean. So I might just help this stick down, I think, with a bit of Mod Podge as well, because, you know, I don't want to stick them down and then find them coming up off the page. So just going to pop some Mod Podge onto there, and we'll just pop the sunflower down like that. Looks quite cute. So let's now, perhaps we'll have another sunflower beside it, because I'm thinking, you know, I mean, I'm obviously not going to use this sheet of paper in its entirety, so, you know, it might be best to kind of keep the themes together and the colours together. So I've got those two, and then I've got two of these, so I could go for those now. Maybe down in this corner here. Let's just pop those down there. Just pop that on there. And then it's just got that little kind of matching piece here, so I'll pop that down to the side like that. press them down, make sure they're gluing down properly. Then I've got this one, which I think this is a carnation, but weirdly, this is one of those instances where for me, it's lost what it is, where it's been cut out, you know, without leaves and what have you. To me, that just, it's lost kind of the, whatever it was meant to be. So I might just go for this daisy instead. So just take my daisy here, pop that down there like that. And then I've got these couple of purple ones, which maybe I could just have those kind of down to the side. And then maybe that one just down there. Yeah, let's have them like that. Okay, so again, I'm just going to leave that to dry for a few minutes, because obviously now it's quite saturated with the Mod Podge. Now, I'm probably not going to use the leaves, because for me, you know, they're pretty green, aren't they? They're pretty bright, and actually I don't really know which leaves, you know, which flowers they go with. Now, can you see there? I'm trying the ink on those pieces. Now that to me is not making any difference to that colour, or very, very minimal difference, because this is that sort of, it's not a sheeny surface, but it's a very smooth surface. It's not picking up the ink at all. So that's worth knowing, because then when I come to decorate my little pieces, I'm not going to, you know, the ink's not going to go onto them. So I'm going to bin this. I know this seems like a big waste of this flower. Probably lots of you are now shouting, saying, oh no, don't. I personally don't like that flower, so I'm just going to bin it. I feel cleansed now that I've got rid of another thing out of my stash. Right, so let's pull this one back in. So I'm still now debating and wondering what to do with this. So now I'm just rummaging back through my carrier bag, which is luckily quite empty and doesn't have anything messy in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the words to do a trial piece. So all I'm going to do is pop that down there, and then I'm going to see what works on that and what doesn't. Because like the tea bag, obviously, you know, has not worked. I don't want to now, you know, waste the rest of it on techniques and things that aren't really going to work. So here I've got my gesso again. I just see how that is over it. Oh wow, look, just covers it up completely. Okay, so that's not really ideal, because that just covers it up completely. I mean, obviously if I go over thinner, you can see that through there. It's going to be tricky working with these, you know, because obviously you know, hopefully you saw that the ink really didn't work at all, because it just actually, again, a bit like with those leaves, it just bypassed the sticker and just inked around the edge, which, you know, obviously that's, you know, not really what we want. So the gesso, I'll wait for that to dry for a minute and then see whether then the ink will pick up onto there. In the meantime, let's pull back our tea bag piece. So as you can probably see, that is not really now showing those flowers very well at all. So if I just cut that down, and then I'm just going to tear that off the side. So, I mean, that's a shame, isn't it, really? Because that would have obviously killed two birds with one stone, i.e. making the flowers so that we can ink over them because they're no longer glossy, you know, and obviously it would have looked quite vintage. Now, unfortunately, you know, they're really not that visible now. They're visible-ish. So, you know, hopefully we still will be able to use it in some sort of form. I think what we'll do is we will gesso over these because, you know, I'm aware that time is ticking by and, you know, I haven't really got all day to waste of yours, or you haven't got all day to waste on waiting for this to dry. So I'm just trying that now, inking it up. It does ink it up, so it hopefully is is going to be good enough. So just take that. Now I'm going to try my hardest to get this really thin so those flowers are still visible. Now, as you know, getting things, you know, nicely delicate, that's just not really my thing. So I'm just going to dab them off slightly with my finger, but hopefully leaving enough on there that the ink's going to then stick to them. But that's just, you know, taking off a little layer so they're a little bit more visible. So there we go. Nothing like experimenting whilst on film, is there? You know, whilst on camera. It's just, I don't know why I do it. Well, I mean, as I say, on this instance I do, because these were the stickers, and once they're gone, they're gone. But, okay. So again, I just dab that off a bit with my finger so it's not quite so covered. Okay. I mean, all we're really trying to do, I guess, is kind of make them so that the ink is going to take to them. So, okay, I'm going to move that out the way to dry now and bring this one back in. Again, just going to get the other one back out from the bin so that I can now just do a little experiment on here. So I'm just going to go over that flower with the gesso, just again to see whether that makes it then inkable, because obviously we tried that other piece, you know, the leaf, and it wasn't inkable. So hopefully it will now become an inkable piece there. I mean, I have to say, I think these look really pretty now. Yeah, I'm really liking them, even if, you know, even if they were just as they were, I think they look pretty. So I'm going to cut this down across here, like that. Okay, and then what we could do is we could back this onto some other book page so it sturdies it up to be able to use it as like a tag or a pocket or something like that. So again, just take my Mod Podge. Just terrible crafting going on here, because as you can see, I'm just literally using the same brush between the Mod Podge and the gesso, not washing it or anything else, but I really just, you know, want to crack on and not waste everyone's time. So there we go. I'm just going to stick that onto there like that. Hopefully, just hold it up to the light. Yeah, so that's okay. So we just spread the Mod Podge out there. You know, we're just trying to make it a bit more robust, really. Okay, so if we cut around that now. Like that. Just cut it down there. And down there. Okay. Across there a bit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that looks really pretty, even if I don't end up being able to ink the, you know, the sunflower. It looks nice anyway. Right, this is dryish now, so we can see now whether we can ink that up. Well, it's taking the ink a little bit better than it was. So really it's now, do we want to have this more dusted down sunflower, or do we want to keep it bright? I mean, I have to say, I quite like it bright. Yeah, what do you guys think? it's unusual to have things bright, isn't it, and colourful, and I'm quite liking that look. So we link her up all around there, like that. You know, there's something really nice and cheery about that, isn't there? What do you think? I mean, I realise that that's not necessarily now got a vintage look to it, but I do quite like it. Now, the other thing is I've got this tea bag now, which I can't help but think might look nice, just kind of stapled on down the side, like a little ruffle. So I'm just going to get my small stapler and then just ruffle that up down the edge. So just take that little piece off there. Just smooth these little bits off. Okay. And then just going to staple that down like that. Hey, hello.
All right.
Yep, are you?
Yeah.
My son's in now, so they've obviously dropped him off. There we go. Okay. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm loving those tea bags at the moment. I can't believe I never used them before, because they just are lovely. Really, really fun to use. Right, got some doily here, so just tear some of that down. Like that. Oh, I don't want to cover up that entire sunflower, do I? So, hold on. You could have it like that. Oh, that's really pretty. Yeah, that's really pretty. And I'm quite pleased, actually, that I didn't cover up that bright yellow, because it looks really nice. So I'll just take that and stick that down just like that. So obviously I used a bit of Mod Podge that was still on the brush from earlier. Let me just check. I just thought I'd better check that I was still filming and still in frame. Okay, so we've got that, it's like that. And then, I'm just having a look. I've got this huge butterfly that's been sat on my desk for like forever. I mean, I guess while we're using things up, we could just use up that butterfly, couldn't we? Oh, I'm not going to know myself once I've used up so much stuff. I have to say, my desk is gradually thinning out. I mean, maybe not to the untrained eye, but to my eye, it's definitely improving. And hopefully, you know, when I do my next show of my desk, well, I'm not going to say that actually, because I don't want to commit myself to having to do that, just in case I make a huge mess of it again before that ever happens. I want permission to be able to make a mess, you know, should I need to. So there we go. So, you know, that's kind of, again, got rid of a couple of things, because this butterfly, which, you know, ginormous, was sat on my desk and has been for like years. And obviously those sunflowers in the sticker pack, again, sat on my desk for years, haven't ever really used them. You know, so it's quite nice to have been able to use both of those things. I'm just going to rough up around the edges a little bit. Again, doesn't matter if it tears into it a little bit, because that just all adds to the grungy type look. So I really quite like that. And then just go around again. I mean, if you wanted to make it really quite dark, you could just take your ink pad actually to the edge like that. And the reason I fancied doing that was because obviously the dark middle of those sunflowers is obviously very, you know, very dark. And I just thought it kind of lent itself quite nicely to the dark around the edge. Right, my drawer is now wedged, so hold on while I try and fight with my drawer to open it. Okay. And the reason being is because I just wondered whether I wanted to have a little bit of corner somewhere. So again, I think what I'm going to do is use the timber brown instead of the black, because you know, I want to have something a bit dark on there to pick up the sunflowers, you know, the middle of the sunflowers, but I didn't want it as dark as the black. So I'm just using this little corner stamp, just going around the edges, obviously not using it like a corner stamp really at all, but just more like a little edge decorator. There we go. I mean, I think that looks really nice now. Okay, so let's pop that one to one side and we'll get on to the next one. So the next one is probably this one. Let's ink up now, because we've obviously just gessoed over the stickers. So let's ink up over, ink up over and see whether those flowers are very prominent or not. I mean, they're not very visible, I have to say. So maybe I shouldn't have really gessoed over them, but they were one of those things that actually, you know, it was a bit of a struggle to come up with really anything much at all to do with them. Okay. Do you know what I'm thinking now? Is to actually tear the flowers out. So, for instance here, just thinking if I just tear around that flower, that can just be used, you know, more standalone on its own. The only thing is you can't really see the stem that much, which that's a bit of a shame. So just having a look to see whether, I don't know whether my pen's even working, to be honest. Let's see whether that would take very much over that. Okay. So I can't actually see where the original stem was, but just to try and kind of make that stem, you know, stand out a little bit more. And then again, well, perhaps I'll just again go round that, you know, right at the edges to kind of make that stand out quite a bit more. Like that. Okay, and then again, got some doily piece left here. Just wondering, oh, that's pretty on there, isn't it? Let me just have a look and see how that looks. Yeah, that's quite pretty. So, I mean, again, if you wanted to do like here, I've got a little paper bag that I've made, and if I wanted to have that on the paper bag, and actually could always put that book page in the background, which would almost tie it in together. Just check out how that the tea bag one is doing. It's very soggy, unfortunately. It's still pretty wet, which is a bit of a shame, because I was just thinking that that would have gone maybe quite nicely there. Right, let's have a look. So if we went for this one, I'm just working out whether we want... So let's tear off along here. Right, got to cut off that butterfly, because can you see that's like hanging off? Because they're not very teary stickers, because they're that sort of plasticky, filmy type stuff. There we go. Oh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Looks really pretty. So again, what I might do is just go round the edge really of my page, just because that then ties that in, you know, with the other piece that we've done. So like that. Okay. That's really a shame, because I much prefer that torn edge to that torn edge. But this, let's just have a look. Well, I guess we could have it down there actually. Oh, let's do it like that. So, I mean, again, I might as well just use the Mod Podge, because got that here and open. So just dip that in. Okay. I can hear my son downstairs laughing. He's in his bedroom, obviously, watching YouTube, laughing. I mean, they obviously, I don't know what they watch on YouTube, to be honest, but laughing away. So it's obviously quite different to what we're doing on here. Well, although, to be honest, who knows? I'm sure people must find lots of things on my channel very amusing, even if they're not meant to be, quite often. There we go. I mean, again, I just come back to that, my gosh, you know, what did we all do before YouTube? Because I just am blown away constantly by, you know, the things that are available to us now that didn't used to be. It's just incredible. Right, there we go. And then obviously I can pop this one on here. And it just kind of stands out really a little bit from the other bits. I've got a bit of net here, which I could just pop underneath there, just to make that stand out a bit more and get something else off my desk. Although I said that, and actually I've used very little of it, so it's still on my desk. Just a smaller piece now. There we go. Okay, so I'll take my 3-in-1, just because obviously that net is a fabric. I'll just glue that down onto the net in the first instance, and then glue that down like that. Okay, so that looks really pretty, doesn't it? And then what I can do, let me move my brush out the way, and I'll just ink around the bag. So this is just literally, this is a paper bag that I have made from a paper bag, basically. You know, from a large paper bag, I've made a few small ones, which of course I can do a tutorial on that if people would like one, or we could do it as part of our mass making or something, if you know, if people would like that. There's that. Looks really pretty. Going to cut your hair?
Yeah, yeah, we're
okay. You don't want to phone up about that? Cool.
Well, no, Dad's messaging hasn't replied yet, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. All right. Well, be safe then, yeah, and I'll see you shortly.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Right. So I've got this bit of fabric here. Again, just, you know, hanging around my desk. So I'll just now ink that up. And the reason being, I just thought it picked up the blue off that butterfly, which I thought was quite nice then. Just going to tear that like that, so it's a bit more shreddy and frayed looking. So my son's not 17 yet, but he will be, you know, in not too long. So he's obviously getting quite excited now to look for a car. And I mean, bless him, he's, you know, he's obviously still doing his weekend job, and obviously he's now working full time. So he's saving like mad to buy his car. So, I mean, obviously, you know, me and his dad are going to help him out a bit. But it all depends kind of what the car is, how much it costs, how much the insurance is, and things like that. So I've not committed yet to what we were, you know, what we'll do. I mean, originally I thought, oh, perhaps I'll say we'll match his savings. But obviously, since he's had a full-time job and he's still working his other job, he's actually saving quite a lot, quite rapidly. So I'm glad I didn't commit myself to that, because we might have been horrified, to be honest. And, you know, joking aside, I mean, really, when you're 17, your first car, you don't want to spend sort of a fortune on it, because you're going to get a few knocks and scrapes, aren't you? So, you know, he doesn't want to kind of spend a fortune or anything. So I'm kind of thinking that, you know, either he can buy the car and we'll pay for his insurance, which is astronomical anyway. It's often dearer than the car. Or the other way around, you know, if he pays for his insurance, we'll buy the car. You know, so we're just kind of beginning to slowly look around. Oh, I just love that blue on there. Can you see that that just picks up that butterfly? I hope that's coming out on camera. Let me just stand up and kind of see whether it is or not. Just looks really pretty, doesn't it? The two kind of pieces there. Yeah, so I've managed to use up those stickers. You know, maybe not quite as I'd originally planned, but they look pretty, and I do like how they look now. So that's that piece. Just see whether we want anything else on there. Do we want a little flower? Doesn't really need the flower, to be honest. Move that away. Just have a look and see. I've still got some of those tiny flowers that I've been using up forever. These were just like in, I can't even remember now, but been kind of using them up for the longest time now. And I thought of it because obviously this also is that bright, vibrant turquoise. So I just thought, you know, perhaps that would look good. Just see whether if I take it off of the stem. Yes, we're quite lucky because we live near the town, so my son's able to obviously walk to the barber's, which is super handy because I mean, we've lived here for like 13 years or 12 years or quite a long time now anyway, and you know, we love living here and being kind of in the town. It's really, really convenient and lucky, you know, because where we used to live, we were kind of nowhere near anything, and you had to jump in the car every time you went anywhere. I'm going to get rid of that. Anytime you went anywhere, and it's such a drain, you know, on your time and obviously your finances, because, you know, petrol's a lot of money, isn't it? And so every time that you kind of had to go anywhere, to jump in the car was just frustrating, really. You know, and there's no way, obviously, that he would have been able to just kind of go off into town and take himself in for a haircut. I'd have had to then go and drive him in. So it's so much better now because obviously there's so much independence, you know, that wouldn't have been there otherwise. I'm just having a rummage through really and seeing whether I can find any other sorts of flowers or anything that I could pop on there. Got that one. Oops. I know it's not a lot different to the other one, but it's just a slightly better shape than that other one. Just ink that up a bit. I think it might be two. Yay! Sometimes you have those bonus ones, you know, where they're stuck together, and you get an extra one that you weren't expecting. Do I want that? Oh, I might just put it there actually. Let's just pop it down there. Okay. Yay, so that looks cute, doesn't it? And then actually I'm just going to put a word there that down. Just pop that there. Okay. So again, just put that up and then just pop that down. There we go. And that's that one done. That looks really pretty. I really like that. I love that fabric on the side. It looks really yummy, doesn't it? Right, so obviously we've got these couple still yet to do. Let me just check the time now. So we're up to 45 minutes. So I'll probably best leave these because I have best phone my son and see kind of what, you know, what he wants to do now. Yeah, so hopefully, you know, we might get time to do these another day. So hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope it's given you a couple of extra ideas of, you know, how not to use your stickers, or possibly how to incorporate some of your stickers that perhaps you thought that maybe you wouldn't use again. And yeah, I hope you'll join me next time. So thanks very much for watching. See you. Bye.